was well played. Declan, you fought, and in the end, how big a goal has this guy got you?
Massive. Ever since I've come to the club, even before I come to the club, he's delivered big moments, and the amount of times he scores in big games for us. A lot of players can sulk if they get put on the bench, but every time he comes in, he shows his heart, desire, and the run and the finish is just unbelievable. At that stage of the game, to have that composure, he fully deserves it. You wouldn't meet a nicer guy. So even though we didn't win, I thought we thoroughly deserved. I thought we dominated today. We played really, really well. Just couldn't break them down. Fair play to them, but in fairness to him, he's come on and produced a moment of magic. So we're happy with that.
So just tell us then about that mentality. Not thinking of yourself as a sub, thinking of yourself as a finisher, and knowing you can still affect the match.
Yeah, I mean, it's for those moments that I work for. I mean, we played really well. I think we were unlucky in certain moments because we had some chances as well. And yeah, it was a great ball from Eze, and I just tried to put it in the back of the net, and yeah, really happy with the goal. But we need to work more, and yeah, we want to win those games as well.
So, like you say, it was a great pass from Eze, but you have to almost show him where the pass is by making the right run.
Yeah, I mean, with the players that we have, Deck, Martin, Eze, Marino, I know if I make those runs, at least if I make 3 in the game, at least one, I'll get the ball and I'll have the chance. So this is what I try to do. And yeah, again, great pass from Eze.
What was your reading of the game? Did you sense that you forced them back, or was it maybe a different City this season, stepping back and trying to hit you on the counter-attack?
Yeah, I think we've obviously gained the respect of the opposition. They know the quality that we have, from back to front. I think in my time here at Arsenal, we probably haven't dominated a game like that against Man City as we did today. I thought, obviously, in the first half, we passed and moved really well. In the same second half, it was constant pressure, but there was always that threat from them of the counter-attack. But in the end, I think, we thoroughly deserved the goal. If we'd have come away losing that game, we'd have been really disappointed. So, in the end, I think a point's probably fair, but we obviously want to win that one.
Yeah, what was the message at half-time, 1-0 down? Did you feel like, even though you're behind on the scoreline, actually the performance was okay?
Yeah, I could sense a bit of frustration inside the stadium, obviously, because we were having so much of the ball. But again, they defended really well. We maybe had 1 or 2 chances in the first half, and we knew second half we had to step on it. And within the first 5 minutes, we created 2 or 3. So the message at half-time, was to keep going, keep pushing, keep overloading them. And obviously, in the end, they changed to a back 5, went to a 5-4-1, which I've never seen them do. And they're obviously trying to hang on. So obviously, to get the draw at the end was good for us.
Well done, guys.
Thank you.
How big a goal is that from Martinelli, and how good a finish was it, Wrighty?
The finish was magnificent. Everything about that was fantastic. When you see where Emirates Eze gets the ball, and the pass, the run, what he's had to make there, Steve, it had to be so tight. But then he's running away from the goal, so the touch has to be tight. Then he's got to then do it quick, so he's got to go bang, and then he's got to flick because the man's coming. But it's the flick over such a big goalkeeper is where the real quality is in that. Obviously, the run's great, the pass is magnificent, but this touch here is going away from goal, and he's got to flick that. That's top draw finishing. Look at it, watch it, look. He's not looked, he just knows, and that's not easy, man. That's brilliant.
I think it's after the first control that he realized that Donnarumma was out. Then you don't have a choice. We can tell that he knew that if he wanted to go with the ball, he couldn't anymore. The best thing to do right there is what he has done, and he has done it like fantastic, because the way you stretch your leg and take that ball and keep your feet under the ball, that for me was crazy. The run was crazy, but to control that ball and did what he did is unbelievable.
Does the pass from Eze place a seed of doubt in the goalkeeper's mind?
Yeah, that's why it's so high, because he's got to be up. His team are high. Look at Wrighty alluded. I think Declan. No, I think it was you, Wright. Sorry, alluded to. Ironically, City were higher than they had been the whole second half. So Donnarumma has to be higher. That ball's in between the two. Look, there's every chance that he doesn't take the touch and it carries on bouncing and he has to come and get it. But the touch is perfect, as the boys have touched on there. And then as he's falling, to flick it with the outside of his foot. As a goalkeeper, you're stranded. As soon as you see that ball going high and slow, you've just got to hope someone gets back. It was an excellent finish, great goal.
And that mentality, you talked about Martinelli not starting. He would have been disappointed. 80 minutes he comes on. He's only been on the pitch 13 minutes to get into the pace of the game and to keep that mentality to finish like that.
But he's got that, and like Declan said, he's very much a big moment player. If I'm him, I'm probably very disappointed. Obviously Trossard started after doing so well in Champions League. And I thought this was a game for him because of his pace. I was very confused with Trossard's role today because I don't think he couldn't get past anyone with the pace. And in respects of going back the other way, we didn't really get too much off of him, whereas that threat alongside someone like Eze not starting, where we needed somebody in the 10 area who can get on the ball and make a pass like that, was very confusing for me at home, where, like you were saying, Joe, it was very quiet. We needed to get the crowd going. We need to keep them going, like what Liverpool can do, you know, like what Newcastle can do. And we didn't do that. And I think that kind of handed it over to City. And once they scored the goal, they dropped back, and then it was going to be tough for us. But again, I thought that the substitutes were brilliant. They were fantastic.
Yeah, I'd agree. Right, he was screaming for it before the game. He felt frustrated. I thought Kushinov was handling Trossard so well. That was obviously disappointing for Manchester City to lose him. But the double change was a big statement from Mikel Arteta. Maybe that was him admitting that maybe he got it wrong. We didn't expect City to sit in because they looked so comfortable in the first half. But then that Saka change, that Eze change, the whole dynamic change, the stadium.
Especially at half-time, Joe. You know, when it's at half-time, you always feel like...
Big statement.
Yeah.
It's a big statement, and I'm sure, you know, Ian's obviously a big Arsenal fan. There's some educated people in that stadium, so they're listening, they're knowing what they want, and when they see it, they were ready. The Saka felt right, Eze felt right, and they just looked like they were really going to cause City a difficult afternoon.
I think that...
No problem at all.
Declan Rice, and it probably does feel like a win when you get an equaliser that late on in the game. He said that was as dominant as he thinks that Arsenal have been against Manchester City in the league since he's been at the club. 12 shots compared to 5. Both of them had 3 shots on target. Not much in it in terms of XG, but that possession of 34% is the lowest that Manchester City have had in the Premier League under Pep Guardiola. So you can look at that and think that Declan Rice has a right to feel that Arsenal were dominant, or you can look at the XG and say they may have had a lot of the ball, but they didn't do a lot creatively with it. Which side of the fence would you say?
Like they felt they had to do it because he was just feeling like the dominance has gone. The teams are so good now in the Premier League. They've had so many years under that Edison reign where they were just completely pummeling teams for 90 minutes. They were making them tap out. They were beating them with possession. They were beating them with turnover. They were beating them with the five-yard furies. No one could breathe. But that's not the case anymore. They've really had to earn their results. And I think he's just got in his head, you know what, I could do with my goalkeeper winning me those important points, those Peter Schmeichel points, you know, those David Seaman points under Wrighty, where we're not playing very well and the big man's going to make some big stops. And that save at 2-0 last week was really important because the mood is not perfect to Manchester City. They're not 2-0 up and romping looking for the third. If a goal goes in against them, they can be fragile, but that save was just really important. Yeah. And not many times as a goalkeeper can you make a save and the whole stadium stand up and appreciate it. And you could feel it.
Is it his presence, Joe? Is that what he brings first?
He does. And his experience. He's 26. I remember watching and hearing about him at AC Milan. He was #1 at AC Milan when he was 16. Yep. I played against him when he was 19, and I was a senior player. I played for England how many times? Won the Premier League, and I was excited to meet him. I was excited to be around him. So he's got that aura. He's got that presence. He was incredible in the Champions League last year, and he's found a home, and he's got really exciting times ahead of him.
Yeah, Joe made a really good point about the fact that at the moment we're seeing City, they can be breached. And obviously with Pep going full circle on his goalkeeper, we're not talking about a goalkeeper that's going to be playing out from the back. We're talking about a goalkeeper that's going to make saves. And you look at him and you look at Courtois, 2 goalkeepers, the last 2 winning like Champions League goalkeepers. They're not footballing goalkeepers, they're saving goalkeepers. So this is what I'm saying with Joe makes a great point, because what he's recognised is that, we can be breached, but like, he will make saves. It's that save we're talking about at 2-0. Like I was saying to Joe, as a striker, the size of him and the fact that he can cover, you are going to try extra harder to try and find space. And that is what his kind of presence does to you. It makes you have to go an extra yard to try and beat him.
I think these two have explained everything already. To add, it's just like Pep is trying to adapt to the new footballing rule. Because obviously, 3-4 years ago, we know the 90 minutes to Man City will have the ball. Will pass around, ball position will be, 90 against 10, 95 against 5. But now he knew that he needed a goalkeeper that can save. We are not taking anything out of Anderson. He was a great goalkeeper. He has done a lot for the club. He has won Champions League with the club. He has won the league with the club. But now they need a goalkeeper that can make saves, that can make difference. Because they don't have the ball like they used to anymore. Because he knows that the routine has been coming to an end. So now the routine has been coming to an end. So he adapts. Obviously, the one good goalkeeper around the world right now is Donnarumma. He's big, he's huge. As he said, me looking at him, I'm like, you have to make sure that you place your ball in a perfect position, on a perfect angle, to be able to score. But we, as a striker, when you try to place it in the perfect angle, he know better. That's when the ball will hit the pole or go outside. So for me, it's one of the best recruit for this season is going to be Donnarumma for Man City.
Joe, how much of a sea change is it with this ball at your feet and what Ederson's done to what he's got now?
We're going to see. You know, it's a narrative that I'm not overly comfortable with. He is okay with his feet, but he's coming, you know, new to his team here. And this is the big one for me. This is the previous Manchester City are looking for options. You're being told to put your foot on the ball, find difficult passes, people will show for you. But then what happens in this game is, no, gets rid of it. And actually, you've got people like Haaland up there who will fight for the congestion, Foden fighting, and you can turn the ball over. But he's comfortable with his feet. This is not a bad footballer. He can play. He's just not perfect. His responsibility is to save and to take care of crosses. But he's more than comfortable here. A few options, no. Let's get it up the pitch. They can't score there. We can build behind that. And this is where he comes into his own. He's huge. He's got such great reach, coming out, dominating his 6-yard box. That isn't actually one of his strengths, but he's going to improve in the Premier League. 6'6", beat me, Šeško. This is your first game in the Premier League. Can you beat me? Absolutely not. Congested, he's going to have lots of this today. How far that goes, look. Coming out, just getting a good timing on it, so strong. And this is the moment that we all talked about. This is, you don't get these as a goalkeeper. You don't get the stadium standing up, opposition fans, head in hands. Technically, this will leave his feet, won't it, boys? And he thinks goal. Yeah. And the big man just gets down to his right. Such great balance. You can see what that means to his defence. I told you, 2-0. Manchester City currently is not a perfect scoreline because they can be got at. Yeah. That was a huge save.
And when you look, he became available. We understand the reasons why, because apparently wouldn't sign a new contract at PSG and the restricted wages or what have you. So he became available. And at £26 million, when you look at perhaps what people have paid in the past for goalkeepers, I mean, Kepa's a perfect example at Chelsea for 71.6. Alisson wasn't bad, was he? But even your Nana's in there as well. Jordan Pickford at the time was a lot of money. But for 26 million, gents, to get somebody of that age and that experience and that stature.
Yeah, I think it's just, it would have frustrated a lot of people because they wouldn't have known that he was going to become available. Yeah. As much as 26 million isn't a lot in this modern world, to just have it in your back pocket to be able to use it when you've already done your structure and your wages and how you're going to set your squad up, that's where it caught people cold, I think. And he's going to, you know, it's no secret, he's going to be a well-paid man as well on top of that 26 million. But like I say, Manchester City, they did all the maths, spoke to the people that matter, and once they could do it, they made it happen.
Just a very quick one. James Trafford was going to sign for Newcastle. We're told he was going to be the number one. A little bit of sympathy for him?
Of course. I've got sympathy as a human, because I'm a human and he's a human. Have I got sympathy in being Premier League and playing for Manchester City? Of course I haven't. It's a tough school. And James Trafford, trust me, will believe that he's more than capable of moving Gianluigi Donnarumma. He's no shrinking violet. He'll be ready for that battle. And when he gets the chance to play, he'll show what he can do.
Just a very quick one on value for money. In 2012, the Manchester City chairman revealed £100,000 is all they paid Shrewsbury Town for Joe Hart. So he didn't make the graphic, obviously, quite on that, but it wasn't a bad sign.
The cheapest keeper in history.
There we go. I'll take that.
That's why he's always been your favourite as well. Right, much more to come.
Arsenal 0, Manchester City 1 at half-time at the Emirates. Erling Haaland, who else has got the goal?
Yeah, a player I think we all take for granted in this league. He's absolutely sensational. And this little touch before he gets away, here now, I think it's into Ryan. There's a lovely little touch around the corner. And we know he's had a battle with Gabriel over so many years, but he just leaves him for dead. And that is an Erling Haaland goal from Borussia Dortmund on the counter-attack. We used to see that so often. We don't see it so much now because of the nature of how Manchester City play the game. But when Erling Haaland's in a situation like that, he is absolutely unstoppable. And there's no way in the world Gabriel has got any chance of stopping him. But when he gets here, I don't think I ever feel like Erling Haaland is going to miss whenever he's in front of goal. His finishing is absolutely sensational.
Really was. I thought Gabriel's defender, though, he could get tight. He should take the foul there. That's where he needs to take the foul. And when Haaland gets up to speed like this, you're not going to catch him. The touch is brilliant. Looks like he's going to go on his left foot, goes on his right, and a cool finish into the corner. But then midfielder's point of view, Reinders.
Yeah, brilliant. The way to pass, decision-making, you think it's not easy. But the timing, Haaland's like a man possessed. Absolutely, we talk about his leadership skills, putting the ball in the back of the net, but he's been like he's a beast up there. He's knocking people over. We saw it last week against United, coming back to defensively stuff. He's holding the ball up. Great leadership skills he's shown today, and what a goal. A great example for a young striker. We talk about one-touch finish, etc. But when you see that space, there was no stopping him, like a machine.
19 and 15 now for club and country for Erling Haaland. What about from an Arsenal point of view? What have they offered over the 45?
Well, obviously not enough. Not enough. We're looking at him, we're sitting, we're going, what are they waiting for? There was question marks a little bit over there, the starting 11. People like Eze, and I know Saka's come back from an injury, but they need more. We saw it earlier in the season against United. We're going, are they just dependent on set pieces? This is a little bit of play. Obviously, they're one alone. They're going to have to go at City, but this is not enough. We saw him at Liverpool, not just doing enough. They need more. The problem now for the manager, will he make changes? Will at half-time? Or will he give it a 10 or 15 minutes? But Arsenal need to do more.
Can Arsenal do more? Can they get...
Welcome back. So Manchester City lead Arsenal by 1-0 at the Emirates. The goal coming after just 9 minutes, and it actually came when Arsenal had the ball by their own corner flag originally, Joe.
Yep, City broke. They were trying to press early on in the game, but there's no doubt they had a game plan to turn the ball over and attack quickly. Haaland's actual involvement before the goal is sensational here. Takes out 5 or 6 Arsenal players, and then it's a test of who wants it more. Haaland's absolutely bursting forward, and as the boys talked about before, he's in that state at the moment. Give him a chance, he feels more than confident, and that's a really clinical finish.
Yeah, Manny, you mentioned his mindset and his form,
because,
confidence-wise.
you know, like, the ball actually ended up being a ping-pong in the middle where the ball hit a lot of players. When the ball bounced him, when he passed into the hole, he knew that he got space, and he knew how quick he is himself. Then you can see as soon as he starts running, you can just tell that's going to end up in the pool, because, as I said before the game, I can't see him having two chances and missing even one, because the confidence right now is too high. He's playing beautiful football. He's so calm in front of the pool. And that, I think, that will make a huge difference. And the good thing also, like, even defensive job, he's doing his job. Like, we saw him coming on Gabriel for defensive corner. He's doing right, he's doing good, he's following him around, which is good.
Those numbers aren't bad, are they, at the start of the season? What about Arsenal's defending there? Could they have done anything?
Well, like we saw one of the clips there where you had I think it's Saliba and Timber. I think that Haaland is the problem here. He's the one you don't want to be running free. So I think that both of these two, I think that they should be moving across so you can be tighter to Haaland, especially as it's going to go on to his so-called weaker foot. And then hopefully the goalkeeper might be able to help you out there. But maybe the ball going out to Doku, might have been able to then, Doku might want to come onto his right foot, give you a bit more time to tackle him. I just thought that just felt too easy. But at the same time, I think we fell in the trap of City kind of sucking us on and catching us like that, because that was unstoppable from us, from our point of view, the way City broke on us there. Erling Haaland with the nice little play there, get it out to Reinders, and then they were away. And we have to be careful of that, because now, I think they started pressing, but then once that happens, they thought, OK, let's drop off. And if we win the ball here, we've got the pace to go and attack them. So we've got a lot to do, even though the second half of that, I thought we played a lot better. I think we've got to stay calm and not let them rush us into mistakes so as they can break on us like that.
Yeah, Madueke's arguably been their best player, just on the stroke of half-time, but Donnarumma in the right place at the right time again.
Yeah, Madueke's looked sharp. Him and Nico O'Reilly have been in a good battle. Some good skills, that's what everyone wants to see in the stadium, overlapping run. But I think what I noticed here is Nico O'Reilly knows he can't let Madueke inside, but he's so confident that if he goes on the outside of him, the big man stood at the near post, stands his ground, there are his angles. As a goalkeeper, you expect to save that. That's your angles, beat me, absolutely no chance. Stands big, strong, balanced, good save, great timing.
And we've seen Haaland at the other end of the field. We talked about him and Gabriel right at the top of the show, but at the set pieces, he's given the job of marking Gabriel.
Which is one, like, you think to yourself, look, the way this is going and the longer this goes on, I think the more testy the more it will be, because you look at them here, there's a lot of touching, there's a lot of feeling, there's a lot of, like, stag kind of, like, energy, against each other, look, banging into each other there. I think that he's got to be careful, because obviously you look at that, it's not a penalty, but, like, if you're going to carry on in this mode, something could happen like that. I think that he's just got to maybe just be a little less robust so as he doesn't give away something like that. But hopefully he will give away something like that.
He's right in what he's saying, because I think it's both ends. Anyway, that's why the halftime is for. Obviously, Pep Guardiola or the staff will look into it and say, my friend, what you are doing is great, it's fantastic, but you got to be careful because you are in the box. Because remember, we striker, we don't know how to defend properly. We always holding somebody or making a mistake. So I think Pep Guardiola will tell him. In other hand, we have to tell Gabriel also to be careful, because he have the envy to do everything possible to say, I stopped Haaland. But Haaland is on top of his game. Offensively, everything is working for him quite well. But now let's see what he can do defensively.